Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for One Piece Chapter 1019. When we last left our heroes, we saw some more of the fallout of Tama's orders to some of the gifters to betray Kaido. As some loyal Kaido followers came for Tama. Tama was protected by Daifugo. And yeah, Tama's sort of doing all right now. Some of the gifters are going to protect Kamachio for her. And then we check in on CP0. We see the current balance of the battle is about 2,000 gifters have defected, and 2,000 more have fallen. Leaving the battle is now 16,000 Beast Pirates versus 9,000 Alliance members. We learned, though, that CP0 is explicitly here to kill Who's Who. And during his fight with Jinbei, we learn a little bit about why. As Who's Who reveals that a guard in prison told him this legend of a sun god called Nika, that slaves would pray to in hope of release. The guard who told Who's Who this sort of disappeared. And so that's why Who's Who escaped. And Who's Who thought that Jinbei, being the captain of the Sun Pirates at one point, would know something about this. Jinbei was not unappreciative of the idea that Fishman history would be solely tied up in slavery, which led to Jinbei seemingly defeating Who's Who. Though, again, Onigashima, someone being knocked down at a definitive end of chapter way, is not quite indicative of actually being down. So yeah, all that being said, let's jump right on into chapter 1019. We have this color spread here of the whole gang kind of relaxing on whales. We see Nami, Robin, and Chopper lying on one with Franky kind of sitting up behind them. Luffy and Usopp kind of jumping for joy. We see Sanji sort of fawning over the girls. Zoro kind of chilling on another whale. It's apparently for the 24th anniversary of One Piece, which is this week, I suppose. Anyway, we then open on the performance floor inside the castle. Where Queen, who has sort of revealed his mechanical cyborg enhancements, is still attacking Sanji with a new laser beam. Shah! And Sanji looks at him. The tech to fire lasers again and again? I bet Franky would love to get his hands on that. And then we hear these lines in the background. Hey, you're going pretty deep. Oh, I'm sorry. And this is apparently... this is back with Zoro. As the Minks are trying to inject him with that drug that'll give him the strength to fight back. It's just, these bandages are so thick. Take them off before you inject me. Good point. Well, here goes. That's just sort of, I'm a little bit more nervous about these Mink doctors than I was in the past. They didn't think to take off Zoro's bandages before giving him some drug. That's a little fishy. And Zoro presses, are you sure this, And he's injected, and we cut right away to the Polar Tang at sea near Wano. Come back to us, Straw Hat! Damn it, if only the captain were here. I don't know what more to do for him. They're all a bunch of the Heart Pirates kind of leaning over Luffy. He's already spit up all the water, right? Straw Hat, open your eyes, man. Should we give him some pills? No, an injection. His face is so pale. What should we do? And Luffy coughs. His first sign of consciousness since he fell off Onigashima 7 chapters ago. And everyone's kind of shocked, and he yells, in typical Luffy fashion, meat! What? And then we come back to the right brain tower. I'm not quite familiar enough with Onigashima to know where the right brain tower is. But we see people attacking. It's more Beast Pirate infighting. No, stop! Why are the headliners doing this? And another Beast Pirate says, leave these guys to us. You take out Sasaki, Iron Bro. And so this is with Franky, finally coming back to that Sasaki fight that we've not really seen any of since Franky took over this fight from Yamato a while ago. And Franky laughs, Gahaha! So you came back, huh? You guys were his underlings, right? And we see he's laughing so hard he's wheezing. Or he's so tired from the fight that he's wheezing. It's a little bit unclear. Sasaki just rages. Hey, Armor Division! Just because you're under the effect of enemy powers doesn't mean this isn't treason. And Franky turns back to Sasaki. still clearly out of breath. So that was not a laughing wheeze. He's tired. Man, you're tough, though. I swear I've dealt you the finishing blow a couple times already. And Sasaki looks at him. I'd say the same to you. Your resilience is proving to be obnoxious. Now get out of my way. And he turns into his hybrid form. From a Triceratops to a sort of half man, half Triceratops. I don't know if I saw it on that first... Yeah, I missed it on that first page, but the website does say, chapter 1019, Heliceratops, which is kind of a good sign this would be a Sasaki-focused chapter. And Sasaki, now in his hybrid form, looks at Franky. Apparently, all of our followers on the performance floor turned coat on us too. But I'll slaughter anyone who dares to stand in my path. Now move! And we see he's also wielding at least one sword, but he clearly was not using it in his Triceratops form. Trick mechanism, and we see all these mini blades kind of move up on the sword. Screw sword! And it seems to be spinning, which is definitely a new thing. We have not learned this, but Franky seems to have seen it already. That freaky sword again? Well, I'm not stepping back. And no, this is still Franky, actually. I don't know what happened that caused our enemies to switch sides, but they don't seem to mean any harm. They're my pals now. And the Beast Pirates, the turncoats all kind of cheer. Hey, Iron Bro, you want help? Nah, I'm good. You help someone else. So that's a little bit of confidence for Franky. Let's hope it's not overconfidence. Because Sasaki then laughs, and his sort of neck thing, like the Triceratops thing, starts to move. Ha ha ha. What a laugh. Well, the fewer people in my way, the better. And it starts to really spin now, like a helicopter. I suppose no one in the area is on my side anymore. And Franky, we see him like inside the General Franky. Huh? That thing spins? What the? And he's literally levitating now, off that helicopter neck. Is that how dinosaurs work? And the Beast Pirates call out, that technique! Watch out, Iron Bro! And Sasaki looks at them, you idiots. Worry about yourselves first. And the Beast Pirates are all kind of shocked, but he's sort of turning on them. Heliceratops! And as his neck is spinning, he's also spinning his arms too, or his entire body, maybe? It's a little bit unclear how exactly it's working. But he's basically a tornado of blades attacking the Beast Pirates. They all kind of get sent flying. Franky calls, you guys! And the ex-Beast Pirates all, fall in various states of defeat. Ah! Yeah! And Sasaki just, floats over the destruction and then turns toward Franky. And Franky, pushes him back with his sword. Ugh! And sort of deflects Sasaki away. And Franky yells at him, what kind of mobility is that? I wasn't expecting an air battle. And Sasaki tells him, this is what a Triceratops does. I mean, it's definitely not what a Triceratops does, Sasaki. But whatever. Wow, I had no idea. That propeller really speeds you up to an extreme level. And we see, again, Franky is really sort of taking a beating. One of the problems, I've sort of complained in the past about how this arc has sort of been fast-forwarding through some of these fights. We don't get to see a lot of the things that happen in the middle. And so every chapter is kind of learning a brand new situation. Like, we haven't really had any evidence that Franky is tired, but we have all of this him breathing heavy, which on the one hand is sort of, good sort of not beating you over the head kind of storytelling on Oda's part. That we don't need some monologue from Franky about how beat up he is. We just see him breathing heavy. But also, I kind of wish we saw more of the fights than we get to see. But that's been my problem for about a year now, and I sort of settled into that reality. Anyway, Sasaki readies his next attack, and Franky kind of is a little nervous there. He's gonna charge me at that speed, but he readies like a shield on his arm. Do your worst! General Shield! And instead, Sasaki starts to, back away at speed. Huh? Wait, he just rotated that propeller the wrong way. And went into reverse on accident, didn't he? I'm a little skeptical it's going to be an accident, Franky. You should maybe be a little nervous. Runway space acquired. Yeah, and Franky snaps, liar! Shut up. The more room I have to speed up, the greater the force. And he flies at Sasaki, Bullet Triceratops! And Franky tries to block it with the General Shield. We'll see how well that works, though. Sasaki is right up in Franky's face. Uh-oh, he's gonna set off my shoulder-loaded rockets! Which he does. They explode, seemingly not doing much damage to anyone. I initially kind of thought that might damage Franky, but Franky seems fine, as does Sasaki. There's just a bit of an explosion. Take this! And Franky grabs onto Sasaki and suplexes him, maybe taking a page out of Jinbei's book. General Suplex! And slams Sasaki into the ground. You might be tough on all over, but that wound on your stomach's bleeding pretty bad. Frankensword, you're done for! V for Victory Flash! And he does another attack at Sasaki, but Sasaki gets away with Heliceratops again. Aw, damn it! Aw, come on! I'm not actually that good at sword fighting. So yeah, we're seeing again this kind of a bad position for Franky to be in. I will admit, I don't think we've had an actual, any kind of Franky fight at all. For some reason, he might have had one in, early Wano that I'm forgetting, but I don't think he's really had a fight since, Senor Pink. So exactly how Franky fights is not something that's, fresh on my mind. I'm just kind of taking this all in, assuming this is all, old information that I'm remembering all of a sudden. But yeah, so Franky is yet again at kind of a disadvantage here. And the Frankensword snaps in half. Ah, my Frankensword snapped! And Franky just retreats. In that case, time for my ultimate last resort. And he has these two canisters we focus on. I'm not sure what's supposed to be in them. I don't know. Sasaki chases after him. Running away? Have you no shame? Ah, uh-oh. He really pushed me a long way. The performance floor is just ahead. Can't let him get in here. And Sasaki readies his Bullet Triceratops move, headed towards Franky. And Franky turns around with those... Actually, what I initially thought were canisters might be... Could they be his arms, maybe? Because they seem to be... We see his arms as he readies his next attack, the Gaon Cannon portable version. And we can see the F and the U that were on those, what looked like canisters we saw, but they don't look like arms in that earlier panel. But they look like they're on his arms now? Maybe. Again, it's been a long time since Franky's really had a fight, so I've sort of forgotten the details of, Franky's fighting style. Anyway, General Cannon! And he shoots at Sasaki. Sasaki goes flying up in the air. Bloody. That did a good bit of damage. We see some blood in his hair, kind of on his nose, and then Sasaki almost seems down for a second, then he snaps awake. Franky reacts, huh? Ugh. Show a bit, this is Sasaki's line. Show a bit more respect to the very symbol of fear, the Toby Robo of the Beast Pirates. If I should take both of us out, so be it. Magnum Ceratops! And Sasaki heads towards Franky. Franky kind of starts to panic. He's not quite sure how he's going to deal with this yet. And he's hit head on by that Magnum Ceratops attack. The General Franky, I think, starts to crack and break apart. But he then says, locked and loaded. And we see Franky, the head plate of the General Franky has fallen apart. It's just Franky's head now. This is probably all he's got. Franky Radical Beam! And he shoots a beam right through Sasaki. Sasaki's eye is white, like he's unconscious, though he was just sort of unconscious a second ago. So maybe he's not unconscious. He hits the ground, and we see Franky looking triumphant. I think maybe this fight is over. Though again, it's still Onigashima, and who knows what's over at this point. If it is, though, given that, looking at the rest of the Toby Roppo, Drake defected, Ulti and Page 1 are down at this point. Assuming Who's Who is down after 2 weeks ago's chapter, and Sasaki's down here, maybe next week we finally get to check in on Robin and Brooke versus Black Maria? Question mark, please, Oda. Either way, we focus on Franky's face, and we move to the rooftop, back with Yamato and Kaido, as Kaido tells him, I recognize your value as a soldier, Yamato. Whoa. And Yamato snaps, is that what a father is supposed to say? And Kaido tells him, I worked hard to acquire that devil fruit. I never intended for you to eat it. Is this the first time that... I didn't think we knew that Yamato had devil fruit. We might have known that. But it might be new information. I think. I don't think we've seen him using devil fruit powers, but we see his face. It's definitely a Zoan fruit. We see like the fangs of an animal, like a nose. I was hungry. I didn't know that would happen either. I wanted to sail out to sea, but I couldn't swim anymore. I tried to kill you more times than I can count. More times than I can count, you beat me down. But it made me stronger. Those cuffs weren't the only thing keeping me here on this island. And we see his form. It feels like a mink. He looks like a mink, kind of like a deer almost, maybe. But those long ears, though, don't quite look like a deer. If I don't fight for the sake of this country, then I can't call myself Odin. And he stares down Kaido. Next chapter hits August 1st. So once again, we're on a break next week. I'm not sure if that's from One Piece being on a break again, or if Jump is just on a break next week. Because it's been a while since we've had, one chapter between breaks. So it might just be Jump is off next week. Either way, it is nice to check in on Franky. I will say, though, that if this is the end of the fight, I feel like my problem with this fight is sort of my problem with a lot of Onigashima, and also looking back, a lot of my issue with, not quite with Dressrosa, it's a similar problem to Dressrosa's problem, whereas I feel like Dressrosa I feel like showed all the parts of every fight, but there were so many going on, and they would each get one at a time, and then you wouldn't see it again until you saw a chapter from every single fight, that it felt like every fight was only one chapter. Here we just really haven't seen this fight until this one chapter. And so I feel like this is one of those things. My running theory for Onigashima is that Oda's just leaving holes for the anime to expand on, which is not my favorite. This is definitely not something I'm really happy with him doing, but I kind of accepted it. But my issue with this fight is that we just don't see that much of it. Like, there's plenty of evidence, and it's a testament to Oda's skill as a storyteller, that we can definitely feel like this fight has been going on for a while. As I kind of pointed out with Franky's sort of heavy breathing throughout, we see the signs that this has been a long fight. It just, again, would have been nice to see it be a long fight. And I mean, given just how much story content there is in this arc, if Oda was to show all of this fight, and all of Robin's fight, and all of Jinbei's fight, and all of every fight going on under the Skull Dome, it would be, even longer than it already is. Wano is already easily the longest arc in One Piece, beating Dressrosa at this point by, I think, 9 chapters, and there's still a lot more to come. So I understand the desire to not focus on every part of the fight, but I still get chapters like this, and I wish we had seen more of this fight. And I think maybe the solution was not have so many enemies, not have so many fights. Maybe give us, instead of each of the Straw Hats getting their own fight, give us the entire crew versus Kaido, where they can all kind of help out. Maybe, again, it's all very sort of, I don't quite know how I would change this arc. Because I feel like I'm in a very small minority, but I do feel like this arc has some problems that people don't really talk about. Not that it's like a bad arc, it doesn't need like saving or anything, but there are little edits I would make that I think would make it better. But then that causes more problems, and, what's the best solution? I can't really say that there is a better solution than what we have. So maybe I don't quite have room to complain here. So let's just focus on the chapter itself. It's fun. It is really fun. I like just the utter absurdity of Sasaki's abilities. This is what a Triceratops does, is levitate. I mean, I guess none of us have ever really seen a Triceratops, so we can't quite refute it. But really, it's just goofy. It's a goofy image. And goofy One Piece is a really good One Piece. And I feel like One Piece at times sort of has leaned into being super serious, which is good. It's still a great story. But, don't forget, the first big villain in One Piece, as much as there was a big villain in One Piece, in early One Piece, was a clown who just, separated his body at random. This was a goofy story. And it's nice to get sort of callbacks to that, with Sasaki's whole flying deal. But yeah, it is nice to just see a fight from Franky. Again, Franky has not really had a fight since Senor Pink, as I recall. Especially not a big focus fight like this, where it's really just him and not him with the other Straw Hats. And it's nice to see Franky doing shit again. It's good. It is really good. So yeah, I think Franky, like, Sasaki may be down for the count. It's definitely, if this were like another story, I'd say yeah, Sasaki is down for the count, Franky wins. But as we saw with Ulti in page 1, they can just keep getting up at this point. But yeah, this really is the Franky week. With a bit of a tease going into Kaido and Yamato. So I am guessing, well, I earlier said I think maybe next week is going to be Black Maria. Generally, these cliffhangers sort of lead into next week's content. So I do think we'll at least open with Yamato and Kaido. And that looks to be fun. We'll see a little bit more detail on Yamato's Devil Fruit. Which looks to be good. But yeah, that's really all I have to say for this chapter. It's a fun fight. Again, it's not a super damning criticism to say I wish we saw more of this. But again, I do kind of wish we saw more of it. So that's my final take. So I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe. You know, do whatever makes you happy, you know? And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!